Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. These Norsca Ice Trolls are feeling the heat of the desert sun. They'll be feeling a lot more as they are going to be facing off against the firepower of the Dawi today. So we have the Norskans versus the Dawi, and we have Legion leading the Dawi forces, and I am leading the Norscan Horde. So for the Norscan forces, we do have Marauders for the front line, 4 of those, and then we have 1 Icehorn Marauder, the ROR unit, in the rear, and we do have them supported by a couple Norscan Ice Trolls. And they'll do quite well against the high armor of the Dawi as long as they are able to stick in the fight, and that Warshrine will help with that, with its leadership buffs. And it's an additional leadership ability here, which is going to be the Giver of Glory, giving plus 24 melee attack and plus 16 leadership, as well as fire damage, so that is going to be kind of a moot point in this engagement. We also have the Fimir Balefine of Shadows going to be bringing Enfeebling Foe, and it is also going to be bringing the Pendulum as well to help chew through that frontal engagement. And we do have a couple of Feral Manticores up in the sky as well to really deal with that Gyro Bomber threat. And we do have the Marauder Chariots kind of protecting Wulfric the Wanderer on his chariot, though those chariots have taken quite a bit of damage already from the cannon fire. And then in the periphery, we do have triple Norscan Warhounds to look to be getting into that back line of the Dawi. And that is it for the Norskans. Let's get on into what the Dawi have brought today, as we do have a front line with some Dwarf Warriors, and then we have some Longbeards as well to really anchor that front line, to allow these triple blasting charges to really get their shots in and do some good work against the low armor Norscan forces. We also have triple cannons as well, looking to be firing off into those Norscan targets, those chariots, the Warshrine, and those trolls. Going to be some keen targets for them. But we also have quad gyrocopters up in the sky. A very good choice here. Not a whole lot that the Norskans can effectively deal with them. They do have the 2 Manticores, but it will not be enough for 4 gyrocopters. We also have some Dragonback Slayers and another Longbeard in the rear to really defend these cannons. And we have a Rune Lord with the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, so to provide some very nice slows to allow those cannons and gyrocopters to do some very good work. But that is the armies, so let's get this show going, as the cannons are already singing, doing some good work to these Marauder Chariots, already peeling off 1 model, and we'll see how things go as another volley goes off. The Manticore doing some nice little dodges, otherwise some more shots going into the Ice Trolls and some of the Chariots. But we'll see how things are going to shake out as the Manticores are getting into the gyrocopters now. But with 4 gyrocopters on the field, they should be able to have at least 2 firing at all times. And the cannons continuing to fire away, still not peeling off any of the Norscan Ice Trolls just yet, still with all their models. And they do have regen, so they'll be able to tank that damage fairly well. And this Manticore has been doing some decent damage to this gyrocopter so far, but it looks like the Norskans are going to be looking for a little flank overload, looking to be hitting the Dawi right flank pretty hard, hoping to break through that quickly and kind of sweep on through the Dawi formation. But we have a Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down on these chariots, as the gyrocopters and the cannons are just targeting them down, losing another model, and that is going to be all she wrote for that Marauder Chariot, and not even going to be able to get into that front engagement. We do have the Norscan Warhounds pouncing on top of the cannon crews, already doing some very good work, and these blasting charges, shots going kind of all over the place as it was targeting this Warshrine, and the Warshrine getting right into the back line, supporting these Warhounds, and those blasting charges will be getting shut down, at least for the time being. The Wulfric taking a lot of damage so far, as we do have some of the Warhounds who are trying to thread the needle, but these Dragonback Slayers do kind of pull them back. A nice pendulum goes down into the Longbeards, though the blasting charges doing some good damage in return to those Marauders, using up all of its ammunition already. But so far we have 2 of the cannon crews are looking to be on danger low right now. Warhounds do rout, but they are able to get the cannon crew out, so that was a nice trade there, as the Warhounds are going to be pouncing on the 2 remaining cannon crews, 1 more routing off, and these Norscan Marauders going to be getting into that backline, a little flanking maneuver, getting around these Longbeards, and the Warshrine is going to be doing some good work here. And now we have a Sea Fang going down, as the Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors do kind of push themselves a little forward, dodging that cast there. Could have done some very good damage had that been a little bit better cast. Otherwise, these gyrocopters doing some good work, as they are able to rampage this Feral Manticore, getting right into these miners with blasting charges. But of course, that is rampage, so he has no control over it, and now these Dragonback Slayers are going to be getting right on top of that Feral Manticore, and it will be exactly where they need to be. And we do have Wulfric still taking quite a bit of shots from these gyrocopters, as now that Feral Manticore is rampage and likely going to be going down, it is not in a good spot. We do see the shadow of the other Manticore looking to try and peel off these gyrocopters before they finish off Wulfric, because there is nothing that he can really do right now. We do have the Marauders, though, pushing off these miners before they are even able to fire off a single shot by the looks of things, and otherwise these Norscan Ice Trolls are doing some very good damage to these Longbeards. And that Warshrine able to just shut things down in the rear. Though we do have one of the Norscan Ice Trolls going to be routing off, as the Longbeards are going to be chasing them. Though we do have some returning Marauders, kind of hopefully be able to peel them back, get those Ice Trolls back into the fight. But these Brimstone guns still firing away, as the last Manticore is going to be trying and shutting them down for as long as possible, to allow the infantry and Ice Trolls to really just push on through into the back line and kind of make those gyrocopters the mute point in the late game. Another pendulum arcing right through those miners, as the Marauders do get on top of the Dragonback Slayers. A very good play by that in Norsca. They're trying to keep them away from the large targets. I mean, the Dragonback Slayer is very expensive, and against even just regular Marauders, it is not a cost-effective trade at all. The other Manticore, though, has finally been rampaged, so it is on the ground right now, and 3 of the gyrocopters are just going to be able to focus it down, as it is just going to be engaging with those Dwarf Warriors, and the cannon crews are back online. We do have some Ice Trolls returning, as they do have regen, so they'll be getting a lot of their health back here. But these Dragonback Slayers kind of pulling themselves out of that engagement. They do not want to be engaged with these Ice Storm Marauders. Miners are routing, but now these Dragonback Slayers can very easily just turn around and charge into these Norscan Ice Trolls and do quite a bit of damage if they're able to turn and fight, and those Norscan Ice Trolls do not want to be engaged in that particular spot there. The Dragonback Slayers will do so much work against them, as they are going to be pulling right back, looking to get back into these Longbeards and push them off, allowing for the Warshrine and the Marauders to get back into the kind of the meat of the Dawi formation. Rune of Wrath and Rune, though, does go down on top of the War Mammoth with Warshrine, looking to really kind of slow them down, allow those cannons to get in, allow these gyrocopters to fire away, and it does look like Wulfric has been pushed off the map by these gyrocopters and those miners here. And that will be it for at least the Lord here, but we still have the Femur Balefine of Shadows. He is a very good leadership anchor as well as the Warshrine itself, so the leadership department is still going strong for the Norskins, and that Warshrine looking to be charging right up the hill, just shut down these cannons once and for all, as we do have another pendulum going to be arcing its way right through these miners, doing some very good damage there, looking to kind of peel off the last of the support for these cannons. And that Warshrine does finally get on top of the cannon crew, and it is going to quickly rout them off. Femur Balefine looking to come in and support, though the Brimstone guns still firing away, wavering the Warshrine, but the Warshrine does finally regain its leadership, and the Dragonback Slayers only down to 2 units left, so that is going to be it for the strong anti-large presence of the Dawi. And we do have some Ice Trolls can be routing off, though they still have 9 models left, and unless these gyrocopters are able to really peel them off, though it looks like they peeled off, no, only 1 model has been pushed off there. Otherwise, these Marauders are engaged with the Longbeards, and the Longbeards should be able to hold that line there and finally push those Marauders off. But we have a very healthy Ice Horn Marauder group, and that Warshrine still has quite a bit of HP left, and I don't know if the gyrocopters have quite enough ammo. They are getting fairly low, and we'll see if they're able to finally finish them off. I mean, that Rune Lord isn't going to be able to do a whole lot in melee. I don't think he even wants to be as close as he is to that Warshrine. That Warshrine, all he has to do is turn and fire on top of that Rune Lord, and that is going to be curtains for him. And he does get a little bit of an attack, but it doesn't look like it does any damage on that one. And now the Marauders are getting into this engagement, supporting that Warshrine, so a very nice leadership core here. There are some units kind of scattered about, as the Now, Gyrocopters do look like they're pushing off those Norscan Ice Trolls, doing some good work there, making sure that they don't come back. Otherwise, some nice bombs dropping down into the middle of the Icehorn unit, but the Warshrine looking to peel off as much of the support as they can to allow the Femur Balefine and these Icehorn Marauders to deal with that Rune Lord as quickly as they can to eliminate the last of the leadership bastion for the Dowie. And balance power is edging its way further and further in Norscan's favor here, as the Gyrocopters do use up the last of their ammo, and with their ammo being depleted, there isn't really anything left that can deal with the Warshrine, as that final volley is all that they had left, even though the Warshrine is wavering right now, and if it's able to stabilize its leadership, that will probably be the end for the Dowie, but if it doesn't, that could be the way back, though the Rune Lord does rout, and that Femur Balefine is going to be chasing them down. These Gyrocopters do get into engagement with the Icehorn Marauders, trying to keep them away from that Rune Lord as best they can, as this other unit does kind of drop down, and it will be pulling them back. So that is going to be a very, very good pick by them to hopefully maybe get this Rune Lord back, but we will see. The other Gyrocopters taking some damage from that Warshrine, doing so much work, and it looks like army losses are going to be kicking in, and Norsca will take it. Very fun match there. That front line just kind of was able to hold fairly well, but a lot of misplays, I think, on the Dowie side, allowing these cannons to get just rinsed very, very early on by these Norscan Warhounds. I mean, the Warhounds weren't really much of a presence in that late game, but they were quickly able to push off these cannons early on, though the Gyrocopter play was fairly decent, able to really isolate these Feral Manticores early on. Feral Manticores weren't able to even shut down one of the Gyrocopters. It didn't take a whole lot to rampage them, and rampaging them right on top of the Dragonback Slayers was very unfortunate for those Manticores. But otherwise, the Marauder Chariots again getting just absolutely destroyed by the cannons and Gyrocopters as well. Wulfric didn't do a whole lot, but the Femur Balefine, some very nice pendulums, and that front line was able to just push straight on through with the Norscan Ice Trolls, and that War Mammoth Warshrine, I think, was also a very good key piece in that battle here, since, I mean, they had a lot of tools to kind of shut down some large targets, chariots, Wulfric, but they didn't have enough to deal with all of the targets, so something was going to survive. The Trolls did survive fairly well. They were able to take out the chariot and Wulfric, but that War Mammoth was just a little too meaty to finish off in that late game, and getting 159 kills. Very, very nice. But that will be all I have for you here today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good one.